I'm back today with another video. This time, I'm going to be talking about something that doesn't apply to free-to-play players at all, and it also doesn't really apply to anyone that is just going to be buying all of the offers regardless. So if you are, a very, very large whale, this video doesn't apply to you either. However, if you do end up opening the shop, somewhat regularly just to see what's in here, and if trying to figure out if it's worth it to you, this video is for you. So before I get into my own calculator, I do want to talk just for a brief minute about how a lot of the offer evaluations or calculators that I have seen for RAID operate and why I don't really like them. So a lot of the time we see that um, ancient shards are viewed at $1, right? So this is just what you can get them at the shop, so that's what they kind of peg it to that to make it work. Additionally, that's how they evaluate for things in terms of like the XP boost compared to energy. This would be worth 7 times as much, and then calculating from there just to figure out what exactly is going on. And I don't really like that because it doesn't matter what Plarium tells us they think something's worth. And it doesn't matter what someone else tells us something's worth. What matters is how much we are willing to spend on a particular item. So if we think that for us an ancient shard is worth $3, if we are doing the calculation on an offer, we would want to keep in mind that we value an ancient shard at $3. If we value it at 50 cents, we would want to keep in mind that it's valued at 50 cents. So I would want that to actually be figured out in the calculator, not determine how much it's worth in the shop, determine how much it costs from the offer, and then get like some sort of multiplier to say, hey, this is what it's worth. Because that multiplier, it's kind of meaningless, right? Like who really cares what Plarium thinks something's worth? Who really cares if it happens that, yeah, like silver is overvalued or undervalued in some particular offer calculator, so Plarium decides to make silver more common, right? Like it's not useful if stuff like that happens in terms of trying to manipulate us in looking at these calculators in certain ways. Because Plarium knows that some of the big content creators have offer valuation charts that Ayumi Love has an offer evaluator on that site as well, and like Plarium, they know that these things exist, and presumably they make offers with those in mind. So what I would want to do is have something that I can just write down what I value a few things, and then for anything that shows up in the market, or not in the market, in the shop itself, just be like, okay, I can throw this in. If what I value it at from my calculator is above the cost, then I buy it. And just simple as that, just say yes or no. So to do that, first of all, I want to actually fill in some values first. And then I also want to look at a couple of packs that everyone has available to them. So the Sacred Daily Pack, this is something you have when you start the game, like this is available. The Daily Gem Pack's available every month. And the Starter Pack is something that's available to you when you start as well. So these are 3 that everyone would see. So I'll go through these with my own evaluations that I've used for my main right now and kind of walk through how I use my calculator and how you would do that yourself. So below the video, I will have a link to the Google document that you will be able to modify for this. Keep in mind, I will not have any preset values in this. I do not believe it is my job to tell you how much you think something is worth. So to use my offer evaluation sheet, you have to think about how much a few items are worth to you. And let's actually take a look at what it is so that we know kind of what I'm talking about. So these are the only items we need to figure out how much they're worth to us. And then from there, I calculate how much these are in terms of mostly in energy. So, and this is based off of having double XP and having the raid pass. That's because for my main account, that's what I'm doing. If there is interest in making it more customizable, please let me know in the comments below. Also, this is for if you have 130 max energy like I do on my main. Obviously, these values change a small amount if you're not already at level 60. But again, those are just minor details that if you guys would like me to modify my spreadsheet to allow for that, I can. But like I said, let's just explain what's going on here and then we can get into an offer. So the very first thing we need to do is figure out how much each of these things are actually worth to us. So not how much Plarium says, how much we would be willing to spend on these things. So for me, I would say that an ancient shard is worth 75 cents to me. I don't think void shards are worth all that much because you are getting rare so much more common. So I value them at $2. So more than an ancient shard because they are rare, but not quite as much as much more that Plarium views them as. I view energy refills as only 40 cents, a million silver as 50 cents, an arena refill at 20 cents, legendary books at $4, epic books at $1, and a clan boss key at 50 cents. Because again, clan boss keys, you don't really need them all that frequently. So anytime you see an offer that has a bunch of clan boss keys, it's just going to be sitting around in your mailbox. So I don't value them at all that much. Now, these valuations are much lower than you see in a lot of calculators, and it's definitely much lower than what you see in Plarium Shop. But again, these are just the numbers that I look at for my main account. So at that point in time, ancient shards aren't worth nearly as much to me because I don't need the rares. So I'm not looking to buy a lot of ancient shards. Just like for void shards, I have the void rares. I have, both Ceres and Sifi, so I'm not looking as much for the really, big epics or legendaries. So they're worth a little bit less to me. Also, energy refills, I view them at 40 cents because it's very often the case that you can get energy packs and gem packs for relatively cheap. So I'm much more aware when I'm buying things with gems or energy in it that I could just wait a little bit and get a better deal. So that's kind of how I view these things. Now let's actually just look very quickly at the Sacred Daily Pack. So and see, is this worth it to buy based on the values that I have put in right now? So we know that it is 1 Sacred Shard, 2 Void Shards, 4 Ancients, we have 700 Energy, we also have 500,000 silver, so this is in terms of million, so a million, so it's 500,000 silver. And we also have 1,000 gems. Okay, what does this mean? So since it costs $30 in the shop, for me, I'm saying that my personal valuation of this is $28.40, which means I would not buy this, right? Look, yeah, it might be close, but this also lets me stick to a budget much easier because I can see, oh, well, at the very worst case, it is close to what I value it at, and I know that I'll be able to find packs that are worth much more than I value, so why would I buy something like this now? Like, it's worse than what I value, so I wouldn't buy it. One thing to keep in mind, if you see that consistently that packs are worth more than what you value it at, and that would be much higher than what your budget is, that means you need to adjust over here because whatever numbers you have come up with aren't actually what you value them at if you're going over your budget for the game. So this is another tool to help you in that regard because now you're no longer trying to think about a multiplier. This is just in dollars. So if you see that you'd be spending too much, you just need to adjust down these values. So we've decided that the Sacred Daily Pack is not worth it with those particular values. Now the Daily Gem Pack is something that gets talked about quite a bit, that it is what, the first thing you would want to buy just in general if you are looking to spend money in the game. So let's make sure that that's actually the case. So all it is 2140 gems, and it is $10. So the fact that this is way more, or just more in general, we would definitely be willing to buy it, right? Because it is $10 in the shop for this. Now, for me, that means if this offer value was at least $10, I would buy it. So clearly, this means that if this is something available every month, we would be buying it every month. If it turns out that we think we're spending too much money, hopefully this isn't the first offer that goes out for us, but we would want to lower how much we value energy refills. That is the only thing that would change this. So if I instead thought that I valued energy refills too highly and said that it was 20 cents instead, it cuts this in half. Or, it is not uncommon for someone to say, yeah, if you're buying energy refills consistently, it's about $1 an energy refill. So that would make this pack worth $53. So in any case, even if you value it very low, 20 cents per energy refill, this is still a worthwhile pack to buy. So let's change it back to 0.4, like I value it at. And now let's actually look at a pack that I don't think gets talked about enough, the starter pack. So the starter pack has a void and an ancient. It has 400 gems. So just with those, we have, and let's do the silver as well. So it's 0.12. So it's not a whole lot. Just under $7 in value for these things. Now, it also has 15 double experience days. So when you look at this, you might be inclined to think, wow, double XP days must be worth a lot. And that is true, because if we all will be leveling up champions, which means having double XP boosts are incredibly important. So if we were to go ahead and try to buy it in the store for gems, it would be, just a little more than 3 times to get 1 day, or 7 times for 3 days. But what you want to keep in mind is an XP boost for a single day is worth, conservatively, 5 energy refills for a single day. So this is actually undervalued in the store if you look at it like that. So that's why these double XP days are worth it so much. So this is actually an incredibly good deal that I would encourage you to buy if you were spending money on this game and you will be leveling up champions, which obviously we all will. This is an offer that's worth buying. So, that being said, this is the calculator. It's what I wanted to talk about today. Obviously, this was just showing you guys how to use a tool. I didn't really talk about how everything was calculated. That is over here in sheet 2. Comment below if you'd like to talk about that, or if you would like, on Reddit, because I get these linked to Reddit as well. Below the video, I have the links to both my Twitch channel and my Discord server. Feel free to ask me any questions you want about these in any of those places, because I would love to discuss it with you. But like I said, hopefully you guys find this interesting and helpful. Again, my goal for this channel is not just to give you a simple yes or no answer to something. It's to give you the tools to be able to answer questions for yourself. So that is why in my offer calculator, I'm not going to have anything in here to start with. You need to figure out for yourself what these things are worth. So that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully I will see some of you tonight on Twitch. I stream every single day at 7 o'clock Central Time, right at the daily reset. and try to do for about 2 hours. So I hope to see you guys then. Thank you.